Hello, Virgo North Node. Welcome to your reading for the spring equinox and 3 months following. So that's from March 20th to June 20th, 2023. I'm Samara, your feminist alchemist. And do remember that these are general readings, so not all of the messages will apply to you. Just take what resonates and leave the rest for whoever else in your Virgo North Node collective needs to hear that message at this time. If you are feeling this reading, you can give it a like, a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the Feminist Alchemist channel so that I can better connect to your energies, and click the bell to be notified when I upload. These are North Node readings. I don't read for any other placement. So not your sun, moon, or rising sign, only your North Node. If you're not 100% sure where your North Node is located, do check the link in the description box where you will find a North Node chart on my website, and you can look up your birthday and see where the North Node was at that time. The North Node readings at this time, or for this season, were inspired by, guided by a channel I did with Anpu, otherwise known as Anubis, and that you can find under Ascension Messages. And in that conversation, we talked about we talked about ego and shadow. And these North Node readings are addressing how we are emerging from the void, emerging from our cocoon and coming into the light with all of our transformed energy. And how do we ground that energy now into our physical reality in ways that are beneficial and sustainable? And hopefully, some of us will need a shakeup, but hopefully we can move through that in a graceful manner. What else do you need to know? I am raising money for a new mic. This one that I have been using for the last year is kind of being finicky with me, so I would like to improve my audio setup. That is also linked in the description box if you would like to participate in the fundraiser. If you're new to my channel, welcome. The North Node readings that I do use a spread that I was given by my guides, and all of the different sections of this reading will be timestamped, or are timestamped by the time you see this, in the description box below as well, so that you can refer back to any section that you desire over the course of the next 3 months. So we do start with the universal energies on the outside. Those are the big overarching energies that are on offer to you right now. Then we go to the 5D, which is your higher self or future self. And those represent topics that your higher self or future self would like you to focus on, pay attention to for this next stage in your journey. Then we have the 3D in the center that will tell us what is showing up in your physical reality as opportunities for expansion. We will ask how to bridge the 3D and the 5D. And then, since this reading is about grounding, we will pull 4 cards that speak directly to how you can ground your transformation into your physical reality the next 3 months. And then we do your final oracles and we'll be done. That should take between 50 minutes and an hour. So let's begin. So in the pre-shuffle, as I opened your reading today, I saw the color pink. I felt a lot of tension in my head, like negative thoughts swirling around. So putting a lot of pressure on the self is what I felt. So we'll see how that. I also heard the word banana boat. So maybe you use banana boat sun products, or maybe that has some significance for you. Okay. So I'll pull all 4 cards first, and then we'll start your reading. This card has been coming out often. So in your universal energies, we have renewal, footprints, consciousness, and birth of angels. So when I picked up the renewal card, the first thing I heard was that a spiral looks the same way in both directions. It looks the same in both directions. I have the feeling that there will be moments in the next 3 months that you will feel that you're moving backwards or it's a downward spiral, but actually it's just a challenging phase of the upward. So, but there is the potential to feel lost and a loss of direction. What the footprints card then has here, I feel that you have the opportunity to navigate some situations, some energies that reoccur within your family lineage. You'll have the opportunity to navigate them differently, and or your ancestral guides are, I heard the word change of the guards. So you may meet some new ones if you work with your ancestors. If you don't work with them, they may present themselves more loudly because you haven't been paying attention. So consciousness, what I was feeling from the footprints card, I feel that your psychic awareness is opening and you'll become more aware of the bigger picture around you. You have the opportunity to. So this is what the energies are offering you. So you have the opportunity to. Whether or not you actively engage in it is up to you. And at the end of it all, we have birth of angels. I feel a strong, if you are looking to start a family, that this is a time when those thoughts and visions are supported by the universe. But I also see birthing of projects that have an energetic signature, if you will, that benefit a lot of other people. So, yeah, we're going to go to the 5D and get some more information on how this is affecting you more closely. Connection. Romantic love. I so felt romantic love coming out. Okay. Magic. Freedom. Freedom has been coming a lot lately as well. Crown chakra. That just landed exactly where it wanted to land. And fertility. I'm feeling that there's one more that wants to come out. Let's see what it is. Is it this bottom one? Interesting. Okay. I have to keep shuffling. Okay. why there's so many on this side. I guess there's a lot to say. So fertility, duality, balance, and kindness are all sitting here together. Ooh. So with connection, as I said, there seems to be some ancestors who are reaching out to you, who you're not necessarily acknowledging or aware of. This also speaks to your connection to your family that is in the earthly plane right now. There feels to be a misalignment, a disconnect between you and your family in some way. I mean, that's a very general statement because most of us, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people who feel very connected with their family, but there's also a lot of people who do not, especially if you are the only one in your family who is expanding their consciousness, doing inner work, has psychic abilities, right? You can end up feeling on the outside looking in. But there's something in your family that has to do, something in your family is affecting your love life. And this can be, for some of you, it's very evident with your living family, like your parents and what they expect for you in terms of romantic love. But some of you have an ancestral wound that you've inherited that has effect on, it's sitting in your vibration and has effect on the quality of your romantic relationships. That being said, sometimes some of you are not going through or not seeing through your romantic relationships, in that when it gets tough, you go your way, thinking that this is just not right for me. But a spiral looks the same whether you're going up or down, meaning that even on the upswing, right, if you're climbing a mountain, right, there are parts that are easier and there are parts that are more difficult where you have to find your way forward. But you seem to just abandon the mountain. Some of you. What I'm getting from magic here is that you are very able to manifest what you want. So again comes this feeling of frustration, where it feels like I keep encountering the same situation all the time. Why me? And feeling disempowered. And this energy of magic here wants you to empower yourself, or look to how you can empower yourself, especially by focusing on what your intentions are of what you want to create. If you want to birth an angel, then you can't be thinking of the devil or pointing to the other person in blame, right? Pointing to the situation in blame and sitting in that energy. You have to sit in the energy of what it is you want to create. And that requires you to free yourself from any limitations that you place on yourself and limitations that you place on situations. Through our life experiences, we say A leads to B, B leads to C. But once you are embodying your manifestation abilities, your innate manifestation abilities, then A does not have to lead to B. Or at least when you see that A is leading to B, you can decide to switch the energy. And this is how your crown chakra comes into play, because you become aware of the energies that are working. You become aware of how you are affecting the situation. You become aware of divine guidance as well, right? Your spiritual connection. And I feel someone out there is, blaming other people for not understanding their mind, their expanded self, their psychic abilities, and feeling like the world around them is limiting their ability to nurture that part of themselves. This consciousness will bring you to a place where, let's see where it's going to bring you. Fertility, duality, balance, and kindness. It'll bring you to a place where you recognize where you can be influential in situations, and also where you may not be able to be effective in situations. But there's a part of yourself, there are aspects of yourself that need to be balanced and integrated. We don't have the integration card, but they want you to also recognize that the energy of duality is when you see what you don't want, the power is in being able to focus on what you do want. Like you can't turn you can't affect something that you don't understand the nature of, right? And so understanding the nature of the opposite will allow you to more easily flow to the other direction, or flow somewhere in the middle and create balance, right? I am getting that there are extremes in your life. I feel that there are times when you're very giving, and then there's times when you're very resentful of people for taking. And I feel some of you have very different moods, very opposing moods. For some of you, this is an actual hormonal imbalance, mood disorder. This is not a medical advice. It's just what's showing in the cards. And for some of you as well, it isn't, I don't want to say it's not you, but it's something, it's yours in that it's yours to deal with, but it's not your nature. You actually have something that your ancestors are trying to communicate to you, or you're very sensitive and you feel them. And if you're not aware of them, they move you in a way, and then you're like, I don't even know why I was in that mood, or why I was so miserable, or why I was so angry. If you get into moods and you don't know why, one side, of course, is to check your medical, chemical imbalance, hormonal imbalance, because the word balance is here. The other side is to check energetically or ancestrally if you know someone who does any type of ancestral readings to see if they're explore which ancestors are calling for healing through your life actions. Yes. Let's go to your 3D. Oh my goodness. So that all came out very quickly. So we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and the 6 of Pentacles for me is all about balance. So that's appropriate. The Page of Swords in reverse, and the 5 of Pentacles upright, and the Hanged Man in reverse. With the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, I see you're going to become very acutely aware of all of the places in your life where the give and take is not equal, where what you put in is not what you get out, especially with anything that has to do with resources, material wealth, material things. And for some of you, I feel that in your family in particular, which may have trickled into your romantic relationships, is that you're given a lot, but what you're given is not what you need, right? So you're expected to be grateful, but it doesn't satisfy you on a deeper level. It's just things. And it feels like there's no real regard or emotion behind it. So those situations may be coming to a head, and those situations will reveal themselves in the next 3 months. The Page of Swords in reverse, I feel that, yes, once again, it's like, as I said, when I started this reading, my head got tight. A lot of negative thoughts. Torment was a word that came up as well. And pressure. And I feel you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And in the next 3 months, this may come to a head for you. Feeling very like you're not sure what's real, and feeling one way, considering you could be one way inside. I like how this is the same as your crown chakra, like coloring wise. It's like your inner knowing knows one thing, but your ego, mind, and what people seem to be telling you in some spheres of your life, they're at odds with each other. And it actually causes you a lot of internal anguish, which leads to the 5 of Pentacles, which feels like a division within yourself. Like your spiritual self and your physical self seem to be two different, not even two different sides of the coin. They feel like two coins completely separate, right? What I'm feeling is a heavily emotional time that may cause you to turn away from your own, what you think you know. But the thing is, you know something very deeply. At the deep core of yourself, you do know, but there can be difficulties that cause you to turn away and not see what resources you have. I see you also turning away from anybody who wants to give you material things instead of what you actually need emotionally and spiritually. I see those choices coming, and I see you turning your back on anything that is unfulfilling emotionally. That may be a struggle for you, though, to do that, because the Hanged Man in reverse, I feel you may have issues, challenges with standing up for yourself and standing firm in your inner knowing. So situations will present itself that will challenge you to stand in your power fully. I'm going to bridge the 3D and 5D now. The King of Cups. There's something else to say about this Hanged Man in reverse, but I'll just keep going. Since the cards are coming, it's fine. So you have King of Cups, 9 of Pentacles in reverse, 7 of Swords. On the 7 of Swords, I'm seeing those big antlers reaching up to the sky to receive. Ace of Pentacles. Let me see if there's one more for that side. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, so the King of Cups. I feel you're being called to honor your emotional life, to honor your emotions. If you have chosen a partner or a lifestyle purely for its material value, then yes. A lot of these readings for the North Node this time, I have been feeling more of the energy of the South Node for all of the signs. And I feel that it's because regardless of how we want to move forward or how we should move forward, we're in this corridor of making sure that we're taking with us things that we need and things that we've already had and mastered. So if you in this lifetime have dampened your emotional responses in order to gain material wealth, gain favor, or just not rock the boat, this is calling you back to your Pisces South Node to be a master of your emotions. Yes, you can still be disciplined and know when and how to express your emotions, but expressing them to yourself, acknowledging them to yourself is key for them not to, run you subconsciously. right? Because you want to be doing, when you come here to your magic, right? I have this energy with the Nine of Pentacles that you're not aware that you are reaping what you sow. And this does not mean that you're doing bad things and getting bad things back, but there's things in your vibration that are affecting you that if you don't bring it into your awareness, you'll continue to manifest unconsciously. And but there's also the need for you to understand that some of these things that are planted and that are coming to a head are not punishment for you. They are opportunities for you to recognize what's really going on around you. Yes, you may be the only one in your family or friend group who is into any of this, right? That does not diminish the value of what you are experiencing. You're also not responsible. While you can be empowered in your manifestation and see where you have an effect or can have an effect, for you in particular, Virgo North Node, you also need to realize that there's a lot of things around you that have been planted by other people. What does that mean for you? It means you're at this phase where you need to, right, Hanged Man in reverse, where you need to bring your energy to the table, into the situation, in whatever creative way that you can do it. Some of you will be more forceful and aggressive, and others of you will be more, I don't want to say manipulative because it has a negative connotation, but it's like you will steer it quietly but powerfully in the direction that is better for you. How will you steer it in your direction? The Seven of Swords, you see here the antlers receiving all of this wisdom and knowledge from the heavens, from the divine. The divine is not only above, it's also below our feet. So I don't want to, limit that idea. But the symbolism of this particular buck and the moon is like receiving from your emotions. And here you see the deer's shadow, or reflection rather. Oh. As if we haven't done enough excavating of emotions, you need to look at how you see yourself. When you look at the mirror, how do you define yourself, or what do you think of yourself? Your deep, real, raw emotions towards yourself. Because those feelings are underlying all of your efforts to create something else. All of your efforts to move forward in your life, career-wise, love-wise, family-wise, personal development. How you see yourself is something that you really need to examine. Because I feel, Virgo North Node, that you have had the other words that came up during the shuffle, the pre-shuffle: self-loathing, self-love and self-loathing. So take that as it resonates. But it's time for you to be very aware of how you think of yourself and how you see yourself. The Ace of Pentacles. I see, it's not the Fool, but I do see a new beginning and an investment in your own personal wealth, building your own personal wealth. Because I get a lot of energy of your wealth and abundance being connected to some situation that is emotionally unfulfilling or even damaging. And your guides want you to know that you have the ability to grow something very strong if you can get your belief in yourself under control. And if you can tap into what needs to be healed in your lineage. Once again, take this as it resonates. Some of you are very much here to bring certain healing to ground some healing for your family. And they also want you to understand that means that not everyone is going to appreciate you, and you are different for a reason. There is a lot of good reasoning behind why you move, act, feel different from others in your family, culture, or community. I'm doing your grounding cards now. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. I don't do reversals for any of these. We have the Seneschal, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which would be the Knight of Pentacles. Then we have the King of Fire. I don't know if that fit. Dun, 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 dun. Flipped over in here. Number 11. Oh, that is the Page of Water. Emotion, intellect. Yeah, fire, water, or yeah, water. All right. With the Eight of Earth, it's time for you, so grounding, these are your grounding strategies for your transformation. It's time for you to embark on just learning about your new life, learning about any new. Some of you are called to a spiritually based career, but some of you are just being called to have a spiritual practice that benefits you holistically. But I see a lot of necessity for you to have financial autonomy and material autonomy, whether it's your own house, renting your own place, having your own business. The eight, I keep saying Ace of Pentacles. I mean, you have it here, but the Eight of Pentacles is saying that they want you to study something, some of you are just called to study what's really happening in your material realm. And some of you, and then from that, doing what you have to do, learning what you have to learn to change that situation. And they're saying that these are short studies. It's not a, let me enroll in a 4-year bachelor's program. This is certificate course or, self-directed online 10 modules type of thing. And that could be anything from accounting to witchcraft, right? But there is some learning. For each of you, it will be different. Some learning that you have to do, that you should do, especially in this time where you feel like you don't know what's up or down. So if you are feeling that way, it is especially a time to start learning things. Short courses are recommended. So that's grounding tip number 1. Grounding tip number 2. Sorry, they wanted me to say, I already said that though. They wanted me to make sure that you know that if you're in a romantic relationship where it's like you don't feel that you can leave because of your financial ties, now is the time for you to be investigating how you can be financially free of somebody. Will that end the relationship? Maybe, maybe not, right? But it's necessary for you to be independent financially, which brings us to the Knight or the Seneschal of Earth. This Knight I always feels like a gatekeeper. Your ancestors have a key for you to tap into all of the financial abundance, material abundance that you require. And it's not coming out any other way. Like usually I would say, maybe it's not, maybe it's about taking over the family business, right? But even if that is the case, grounding tip number 2 is that you should be connecting with your ancestors about your material situation and investigating or tapping into what is lingering in your family surrounding material wealth. So there is someone very specific out there that like your connection to your family is part of your abundance or part of your current wealth. But your connection to your family is not necessarily the best, or it doesn't honor the bigger picture of who you are. Know that your ancestors are never there to hold you back from your expansion. They are there to help you with your expansion. So there can be ancestors who also, were in a family-run business their whole life. Like they're showing me someone baking pitas and those, spinach pies that look like a snail shell. They're showing me people like a baking. So Greek, Mediterranean, Turkish, Middle Eastern cuisine. And that this person like baked and worked in the restaurant or in the factory, whatever, their whole life, but they were actually very talented in something scientific, like engineering, but they just went with the family business because the family business was successful. It got passed down to them. They did that for a living. The point of that is, if something like that happened, right, you may be the one who clears that karma, clears that in the family line by going your own way, by using whatever the family business is or that you're involved in as a stepping stone to something else, right? The kindness card keeps poking out at me, saying that, if you had a bunch of frustration with your family, you can still, it is a time for you to release what doesn't work for you with them and to just take what at least you can be grateful for and focus on that. Where we come to the King of Fire, where you are in charge of your actions. It is time for you to be the dictator of how you move through the world. And it starts with grounding your consciousness into your actions. So it starts with consciousness and crown chakra, with you just taking those impulses and actually putting them into action. They want you to know that some of the most effective actions are not big dramatic ones. They are small changes of your day-to-day habits. And those small changes invite the bigger changes. Then we have emotion, intellect. The Page of Cups, this would be. This is about you, balancing your mind with your intuition and your rational mind. This is also about getting your intuition or getting your emotions in check, getting your mind in check, so that the emotions are there for a reason, your intellect is there for a reason. And it's time for you to get them to work together in your favor. If someone tells you that you should be objective instead of subjective, tell them that, you don't have to tell them anything, but just don't believe them. Because you're creating for yourself from yourself. Like, what are we really talking about here? That is what we're all doing on a day-to-day. Like, that's how we spend most of our time. We make decisions that affect us personally. And if you feel very passionate about something, then likely you're supposed to do something about it, right? As opposed to push it aside and be like, right? Because the fact of the matter is that if you don't act on it, or if you don't do something with it, it will keep spinning around in your head, and it will be in your vibration regardless. So you need to do something with the emotions that come up. Do not rationalize them away, but do something with them, right? And it's okay if your assessment, once your emotions and your intellect talk to each other, you say to yourself, I think I'm overreacting, right? But, or I don't think that this emotion is appropriate. But do find out why you feel the way you feel. Don't just sweep it aside. And also don't let anyone else tell you what the reason is. You should feel for yourself what it is. Because this is what you are creating from. And if you are creating from a place of hurt without knowing where the hurt is coming from, then, or if you acknowledge that you're hurt but you don't know where the hurt is coming from, it's hard to get rid of it, right? You need to get to the bottom of why it's there. So that and when you ask it to go away, you put something else there, right? And that is how the emotion and the intellect work together. The emotion is coming to tell you what's there. It's like, hi, this hurt is here, this disappointment is here. And then the intellect says, okay, this comes from this situation, and I hold on to it because I want to make sure that I don't let anyone treat me in this way again. So what is the alternative? Once you ask that to go away, what are you going to replace it with? And it can be something very general, right? Help me create a healthy boundary that keeps me from feeling this disappointment, right? Or experiencing this disappointment again. So that's your grounding tip number 4, right? To understand the root of your emotions. And once you do, find something, ask for something healthy to replace it with. Okay, we're doing your final oracles now. And for this, I'm just going to read from the guidebook. Ooh, you have number 44 twice because you have the birth of angels is also number 44. So you may want to look up what the number 44 signifies in numerology. Okay, got the book. So, gathering of blessings. The priestess of the harvest gazes at an ear of corn with great reverence and appreciation for this sacred sustenance. The cause, the seeds, along with the effect, the nourishing food, coexist right in her hands, a tribute to the bounty and blessings of Mother Earth. The priestess knows that her own efforts and intentions are part of the ongoing abundance that nature provides. When you receive this card, you are being put on notice that your harvest is coming. There is a project or goal to which you have devoted much effort and attention, and you are about to reap the rewards. You have planted your intentions with care and taken the action needed to tend the seeds and cause them to thrive. So if you haven't already seen the fruits of your labor growing in your life, be aware of the potential bountiful results about to come your way. And if there's some work yet to be done, consider the best course of action and make that a priority. Remember, too, the simultaneity of cause and effect. Even as you are harvesting the blessings of past actions, you are planting the seeds of future outcomes. So as you ready yourself for the coming harvest, also know that your sacred appreciation for the gifts you're receiving will be seeding the energetic fields with even more joyous results. And the affirmation here is, I work joyously on the goals that I am planting now, and I appreciate all the support and sustenance that the universe has to offer. So to reiterate, there needs to be gratitude for what you have already, even if this is a difficult transition for you right now. And focus on what it is you want to birth. Birth of angels, yes, it's coming. Let's get your inner peace oracle. Number 38. Did you have 38 as well? No. Okay. The collective field is impacting you, unseen forces in action. How can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? Yes. So once again, it's like I'm going to read it, but this card is telling me that some of the burdens on you are not from your own energetic field. You didn't create it, but you did agree to take it on in this lifetime. So it's time for you to actively investigate what that is so that you can deal with it. Okay, when you are on a personal growth and spiritual journey, before long the work starts to work you. When this happens, the only thing left to do is surrender. Surrender. You may feel stuck, and often it's because of unseen forces impacting your spiritual and emotional journey. The collective consciousness is one of the biggest influences in our life. Its unseen forces push against us every day. They are the shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes that operate as a unifying force within society. So often the collective patterns are those of fear, suffering, and anxiety. You've pulled this card because a lot of what you are feeling right now is not yours. It has been picked up energetically from those around you, from the planet's collective consciousness. One conscious, loving thought at a time, you can move yourself into a more peaceful state by disengaging with the collective energy. And the divine assignment here says, patterns from your family history, your lineage, your DNA, and your ancestors could also be blocking you. Sometimes habits, patterns, thoughts, perspectives, and beliefs are passed down through the generations. It can be difficult to know if your past is affecting your present and therefore shaping your future. When you have no sense of where your patterns or emotions come from, you may be acting from a place of your ancestors' patterns. You may feel like it isn't your pain and you're acting on autopilot. You can balance your emotions by going into meditation or simply by asking your higher self for clarity. You can repeat this meditation mantra. I release all need to control my situation or push through to create a specific outcome. I surrender to the healing that wants to take place, and I trust the journey. I trust that everything that happens is always for my highest good, and I feel into what I need most. I return to my center by practicing self-love and compassion. Okay, and your final cards from the little starseed deck here. Vision. Trust in your ability to create the vision in your soul. And they want one more. Okay, that was it. No. Oh, okay, fruition. Rest assured your dreams and visions will come to fruition. All right, Virgo North Node, so that was your reading for the spring equinox. I do wish you a wonderful 3 months, and I will see you again sometime in another reading. I wish you all the best for your journey, and take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.